Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I really like the straightforward manner of Carly Fiorina, and she's running for the presidency, and she said this back in April. While California is clearly experiencing another drought, the extreme water shortages are an ongoing and man-made human tragedy, one that has been brought on by overzealous liberal environmentalists who continue to devalue the lives and livelihoods of California residents in pursuit of their own agenda. It comes down to this. Which do we think is more important, families or fish? I like that lady. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. We need a patriot to call with our Pledge of Allegiance. Get on the phone. Come on, hurry. Oh, thank you very much, the lovely Kate Smith, and God bless America. Good morning, everybody. I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, and we thank them very much, our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Be sure and stop in today. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service, get rid of your garbage, 734-6969. And, of course, Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Oh, and 2, Ted's Diesel Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Heyburn. Moving, owned by Doug Martin, and moving to better serve you. Rebuilding starters, alternators, generators, everything from lawnmowers to locomotives. Ted's Diesel and Electric moving to 635 21st Street in Heyburn. It is time for our weather. And the weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. You know, I'm just really so happy to have these people on the program. Kyle and Whitney, they can do everything to make your house a home. Carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, of course, all the newly refurbished furniture, and they've got such great ideas for the interior of your home. Give them a call or stop in today, 678-6945. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Here's the weather.
We are in a red flag warning due to the tender dry conditions and the wind for today. Also, air quality has been reduced because of all of the smoke in the area. So if you have asthma, some sort of upper respiratory issue, you might want to take note of that, okay? So just be careful out there today. Otherwise, sunny skies, slightly breezy, winds out of the southwest, right around 11 miles an hour. Expect a high of 82, tonight low of 51. Tomorrow, pretty much the same as today. Sunny, breezy, high of 84 with an overnight low of 51 as we move closer towards the weekend. Thursday, sunny skies and 88, and by Friday, winds picking up out of the west right around 20 miles an hour, sunny and 82. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, my, I forgot something. Hey, don't forget Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. I'll bet you old Wheels over at the studio is wondering, what are you doing? Wheels, I forgot the Pledge of Allegiance, didn't I?
You did, sir. I was going to let you know, but you're all right.
Yeah. Who's on the phone for it?
Dal.
Oh, well, good. Put him on. He's a good friend of mine. Dal, I am so sorry. My mind just went blank, which at my age is not unusual. Go ahead and give us the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless you, my friend, and I'm so sorry I forgot. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Okay.
What a nice man. Nice man. Don't forget that we also want to remind you about what's going on Thursday, and Thursday's always sale day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And, of course, Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy say, come on down to the sale that works for you. The best of livestock sales right there at Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for your consignments or sale information, 678-9411. Don't forget, sale time on Thursday about 10:30 at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Reminder that Lunch Bunch will be Thursday, and we're going to be telling you a lot more about that in just a few minutes. I got to say thank you to some really, really nice people, and they moved over here and are neighbors, and man, I tell you couldn't have nicer people living close by you, and that's Kilt Man and his wife Lori. I got a call last night, and I was watching the baseball game, and Kilt Man said, hey, are you going to be home? I said, yeah, man, I'm not going anywhere. I'm too tired to get out of this lazy boy geezer chair. And he says, I'll be up in just a little bit. And he brought up two of the most delicious maple bars from the Cassia County Fair. And I believe, and if I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected, I believe they were made by the Declo Steak. So I just want to say, whoa, a taste of the fair, and thanks to Kilt Man and Lori. We really appreciate that. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. They can clean anything and make it look brand spanking new. I know. Boy, I tell you what, when I take my Rumply Crumplies in there, you kind of gave up on some of them, and then all of a sudden you go pick them up and you go, holy cow, I don't remember buying that new shirt. Well, I'll tell you, they are good. 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley, Daryl's Cleaners. You stop in and see them today. Oh, by the way, somebody else I want to brag on, too. SafeLink Internet, and their number is 677-8000. The first month free, plus free installation, no contracts, no credit checks, unlimited data, and it's Idaho's #1 choice for wireless internet. And that's, of course, SafeLink Internet. You call them, tell them Zeb told you to give you a call at 677-8000. That number again, 677-8000, SafeLink Internet. Oh, that maple bar. There were two of them. Yes, Deanne got her maple bar. I didn't eat both of them. Wanted to. But thank you. That was really, really good. Back to school for a lot of the kids. Oh, my goodness. I can hear the mothers standing on the front lawn going, hallelujah, hallelujah. And back to school means we got to really watch out. The kids are not going to watch out for you. And especially if you're driving through a town area where they're walking through the lawns and the alleyways and across the street and everything, please watch out for the kids. Please watch out for the kids. It is back to school, and now moms are going to have to try to employ every resource they have trying to figure out how to wake these kids up and get them ready for school. There was a video, and it was really comical. It was on YouTube. And one mother back east, I think it was in Pennsylvania, I stand corrected if it was not, but she couldn't get that 10-year-old daughter of hers out of bed. I mean, that little girl could sleep through anything, all the jostling and the taking the covers off and shaking her and everything. She just kept right on sleeping. So her mother employed the use of a 5-piece Dixie brass band. And they marched into her bedroom, and on the count of 3, they started playing at full tilt, full volume, and yeah, the 10-year-old girl did wake up, and her mother said that this band is going to stay on call in her phone directory because she's having nothing but trouble getting the kids out of bed, getting ready for school. How about the moms out there? Give me a call and let me know. Do you have one of those problem children that absolutely you could set off a nuclear bomb and that kid's still going to stay there right in bed sleeping? Give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric. Hello, Ramses. How you doing this morning? Oh, yeah, we're supposed to get back up into the 90s. And you want your air conditioner to work efficiently and keep you cool. Well, then I suggest that you stop in and get those air filters for your air conditioner to make sure everything runs efficiently. And you can buy them in a case of 12 and save money. That's right. Stop in today for all your heating and electric needs. It is Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. And oh, by the way, too, we are getting ready for the 2015 edition of Patriots Day, which will be at Ramsey's on September the 10th. Put that on your calendar, please. Somebody else that I'd like to acknowledge and thank, of course, is Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. Oh, my. They do have everything over there. And I had a guy call me the other day and said, yep, just like you said on the radio, we got over to the Cassia County Fair and forgot the buckets and the brushes and the holders, and he said, it happens. Well, they're there to serve you at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch in the case that happens. And they've got all the clothing, all your show clothing, like your new Wranglers and your shirts and your boots and everything, and all the fly and the bug spray, and like I said earlier, the buckets, you name it, it's all there at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch, along with all your fishing gear, your licenses. Holy cow, local people serving you at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Really good folks. Okie doke, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. About 6 months ago, I had this gentleman on my program, and he had been on twice previously. His name is Ron Kessler, and he writes books about the messes that happen while presidents are in the White House and some of the not so legal or possibly very illegal happenings of different administrations. Well, he has been on television lately talking about how Hillary Clinton is not the person that you want to work for. As a matter of fact, the Secret Service, they are considering their being appointed to guard Hillary as the last step on the ladder. She is the queen of mean, and nobody wants to be around Hillary Clinton on her protection detail. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Talk to me, caller.
Good morning. Good morning, Zed. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What can I do for you?
Well, you were talking about waking kids up to get to school on time a while ago.
Uh-huh.
Our mother used to, I was born up and raised at Kimberly, but anyway, she used to come in the bedroom in the morning and she'd say, oh, it's nice to get up in the morning when the sun begins to shine at 4 and 5 and 6 o'clock in the good old summertime, and that gets so irritating day after day. It's got us up, believe me.
Yeah, but. And now that years have gone by, I'll bet you that's one of your fondest memories, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm 76 years old, and I'll tell you what, I wish I could go back and have her do it some more.
You know what? Me too. There's a lot of things that happened at home back in Wisconsin that I remember, especially getting up and going to school. But, boy, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to cross them again, even though history has been a long time ago. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
pleasure watching.
God bless you.
Keep up the good work. You be the man, as they say.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
My mother used to stand at the bottom of the stairs, and she'd open that door, and she'd say, "Get out of bed now." I don't mean 5 minutes from now. I don't mean 2 minutes from now. I mean now. I never challenged her on that because, number one, I knew that if she couldn't take care of us, there was a man coming home at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon that absolutely put the fear of God into me, and I didn't want her to make a report about how I had slept in. Not good. Not smart. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, too, this Thursday we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant in Burley for Zeb's Lunch Punch. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to that. I really, really am. We got a lot of gift certificates to give away, and we want to say thank you to, and Deanna, I lost my list. I don't know what I did with it. I had it in my hand here about 2 minutes ago. Do you have it? No, maybe I don't know what I did. I want to say thank you to everybody. I've got it. I found it. It was in my pile of papers that I moved. Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. And, of course, we want to thank Thomas and Terry, the whole crew. They're so nice. The menu items are absolutely delicious. And we're going to have a lot of giveaways, too, at Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Thanks to Stokes Food Center. Oh, that is a beautiful brand new place on East Main. Handsome Mortuary, thank you. Thank you. Waters Gift and More. Sharon, thank you. Walmart, thank you so much for what you do. And Smith's Food and Drug, thank you so much. And we're going to give away a lot of things this month at Lunch Bunch on this Thursday at 11:30 at Denny's. Don't you miss it, okay? Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. What makes Hillary Clinton, really think about that, what makes her think that this email situation is so funny? What makes her think that it's nothing but a laughing stock? What makes her think that it's partisan politics? What makes her think that she can get on television and say, oh, those Republicans, blah, 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 blah? And what makes her think that it's not serious? It is a felony. Look at what has happened to people in the past that have compromised classified and top secret information on their emails and through their servers, and they bit the dust. Most recently was David Petraeus, General David Petraeus. Bingo, got him, bang. And she just doesn't seem to care. She is the ultimate in a has-been and a wannabe. But now the Department of Justice, and this is really getting a little bit more than 5 or 6 emails. Now the Department of Justice has found over 300 classified and top secret emails on her server. She lied. She absolutely lied and should go to court. And you know me, I think should go to jail. Stand by. You're going to hear a swap on the top of the desk. It is me killing a fly. Stand by. And I did. Got him. Good aim, Zeber. And this woman seems to think she can get away with it. Now, as I said, many people have done far, far less and had the rug pulled out from underneath them. What are your thoughts? Honestly, do you know people here in the Magic Valley, or for that matter, anywhere across the country, that are absolutely Hillary fans? Now, some of the women that were interviewed last night on television, I was watching the Waters World, and some of the women, they were probably in their early 20s. Oh, we want Hillary to be the first woman president ever. It was enough to make you sick. But what is the fascination with this woman? Why would anybody, please answer this, help me, why would anybody in their right mind want Hillary Clinton as a president? as the leader of the free world, as the person sitting in the Oval Office that has command of legislation and regulations over you and I. Why? What is the fascination with this woman? There are many, many women much more qualified. Give me a call and let me know your thoughts, please. I'd like to hear what you have to say. By the way, while I'm waiting, I also want to say thank you to many of our Cassia County merchants, and we're going to highlight some of those right now, and the reason I'm stalling is because I can't find that paper either. There we go. I'd also like to thank Butte Irrigation, 116 South, 600 West, Highway 27 in Paul, and their new location, north of Kimberly by Red Cap Corner. Absolutely. And don't forget, they've got big per tower rebates from Zomatic and huge discounts from Butte Irrigation. Make this time of the year the best to buy new Zomatic pivots. They will get you wet at Butte Irrigation. And don't forget, oh man, I'll tell you, now I'm going to start talking about food again. Oh, look out. Perkins and the Best Western Inn. 800 North Overland in Burley, and you can get a delectable, I love that word, delectable selection of great things like fresh chicken salad, a big BLT with fries, jumbo shrimp, and my favorite would be the famous buttermilk pancake breakfast. Oh, baby, you better stop in to Perkins and the Best Western Inn, 800 North Overland in Burley while you're at the Cassia County Fair. And I know these folks, they can build anything, and they have. Streamlined precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley with our old buddy Tim. And I'll give you a couple of numbers to call them because they can build anything for you, including storage containers and conveyors for your factory or warehouse that will save space and increase your storage capacity. They can build dairies. They can build anything. And the numbers are 678-9204 or 431-7314, Streamline Precision. Oh, my goodness, give me a call. Come on, please, I get lonesome sitting here in my studio without hearing from you. Give me a jingle on the landline. What is the fascination with Hillary Clinton? Honestly, I know there are people here, but they don't have the nerve to call. You know, I am really surprised what is so inhibiting about picking up a phone. You don't have to tell me who you are. And dialing the number, and it's almost like, oh my goodness, I've got to hide. Oh my goodness, I can't call. Ooh, somebody might hear my convictions. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Can we talk about Hillary?
Well, what do you think we've been talking about? Go ahead.
I'm thinking about this. You're just talking about somebody that is just different than anybody we know. Like, for instance, you could take Hillary and put her in a $500 suit, and she'd still look frumpy.
You know, I am so glad that you used my favorite word to describe Hillary Clinton. Yes, she is Miss Frumpy. She absolutely does not look good in her pantsuits. She looks, her makeup artist absolutely couldn't paint a straight line with a ruler. I mean, my goodness, she looks just like a frumpy.
But, you know, some women acquire their beauty through clothing and makeup and that sort of thing, but there's no hope for her.
I respect the way you said that. There's no hope for her. Not only the way she looks, but also politically. There is no hope for Hillary, let me tell you that.
You know, and like on Bill O'Reilly, which I know you don't care for, but at the end of every show, he says shirts by Gambini or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And his suits by this and that and the other. I don't know if anybody endorsing Hillary.
I'll tell you what, I just don't know why somebody hasn't taken her aside and said, you've got to do something to dress up. Hey, Keith, I got another call and I got a hard break. God bless you for your thoughts this morning about Miss Frumpy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Caller, I'm going to ask your patience, and please, on this program, sometimes I get a little windy, so stay with me. I'll be right with you. I want to remind everybody about a wonderful lady, Dr. Christine Pickup at Mount Harrison Audiology and hearing aids. I was blessed when I ran across this lady because, man, she's helped me. Hearing loss is strongly associated with depression, too. Did you know that? And when you struggle to follow a conversation or you politely nod because you don't understand what somebody's talking about, maybe you better go have your hearing checked. Yes, at Mount Harrison Audiology with a hearing screening, and she can and will help. All you have to do is call 312-0957. They're located right across from the Minidoka Hospital emergency room, and the number 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Absolutely great folks to work with. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Well, how is my little ray of sunshine?
Are you sitting down?
Oh, no.
You know, a lot of people refer to me as a ray of sunshine, but do you know what sunshine is?
Oh, boy, here we go, folks.
It's spread in the fields.
It's what?
Anyway, what I was going to say is,
oh, boy.
You're talking about Miss Frumpy,
yeah,
the smartest woman on the face of the earth.
By whose standard?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But isn't that the accolade she's given? The smartest woman on the face of the earth?
Well, she's the most smug, the most arrogant, the most airheaded. I absolutely have no respect for this woman or anything that she has done or not done over her past many years.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's got to go a long mile to get up to a fence post like that.
You know,
Have a good day, Zeb.
yeah, I will. With you calling, it's always a good day because you get me woke up and the adrenaline flowing. I love that lady. She is something special. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please, what is the fascination with this woman? I mean, why, some people just go googly-eyed and they start to drool and everything else. I mean, what is it about Hillary Clinton? I can't understand it. She has no qualifications. She hasn't done anything. Is it really the truth that women, and women are smarter than this by far, as a group, whether it's men, whether it's women, but would you honestly vote for somebody just because she may be the first woman to sit in the chair at the Oval Office? Would you really, irregardless of her ability or her intelligence or her charisma, would you really just put her in there because she's a woman? Oh, there are far better qualified. Many women in politics far better qualified than Hillary Clinton. What is it about this person? Is it the money? Is it a feel sorry because of what Wild Bill did to her? And we won't get back into that. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. I want to also tell everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental. 3 locations to serve you. Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They have all the equipment you need to get the job done right. Oh, baby, they've got those big Doosan loaders. Oh, can you dig a hole? Man, I'll tell you what, and load everything. They are really good, and they've got specials on those right now. You better check it out. And the pricing, and whether you're buying or leasing, it's absolutely there for you at Barry Equipment and Rental. The best people with the best equipment working for you at Barry Equipment and Rental, Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
I would really like to know who her fashion advisor is. She must have 25 suits that are the exact same style in every color of the rainbow.
You know,
there is just nothing creative about the way she dresses.
She had one on prior to the Iowa State Fair that I have seen her wear on many occasions. It's kind of a off pale green. And oh my goodness, if that doesn't give her the qualities of the Wicked Witch of the West, I don't know what does.
Well, her daughter is so much more attractive than her, and surely she must know something about fashion. And I'll tell you, if I was the designer for Hillary, I would not put my name on anything.
Yeah, but what is the fascination, Chris? Come on. I'm sure that as a woman you're saying way down deep, oh, I really want her to win the presidency. Aren't you?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, when there's so many other women that are so much more qualified. Carly. I think Carly is a great choice.
I do, too.
She always looks great.
Now, there's something, I want to ask you something, because I know I'm going to get letters and emails and nasty phone calls and I'm being sexist and everything by the liberal loons that listen. But I think Hillary has just let herself go to the point where she doesn't care what she looks like. I don't think she cares what she dresses like. And then you look at someone like Carly Fiorina. She looks very perky. I think clothes really make her look outstanding and ahead of her field, but she's got that perkiness about her, that really kind of a dynamic attitude, energetic. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And I do feel sorry for a woman who is trying to run for the presidency, because men can wear suits and change the color of their tie, and they're safe. But, women look at clothing, and Hillary just looks like she has, a crew of illegals sewing full-time to see what color they can come up next to. Because her outfit is terrible.
Well, you said something about the guys, and I can't let you get by without me making a comment on that. Actually, I disagree somewhat the way you phrased that. Because, and here let me explain why. I think the guys that are going against Hillary, possibly in the final debate, are going to have a rough road to hoe. You know why? Because the liberal left loons and all these women's libbers and everything else, they're going to be crying foul and crying sexist and crying anti-feminine if they make any remark. I'm afraid the guys are going to go into that debate with one hand tied behind their back.
Well, you know what? Let's keep talking about that so people are watching out. Because I know that the media lots of times is in the other guy's court. But Americans have got to use their brains this time.
Oh, my.
Because if we don't use our brains in this election, we are toast.
I couldn't agree more. Well, I know I've got a job for you, and it might pay close to, I don't know, maybe 6 figures. Why don't you apply for being her clothing coordinator?
Well, because I would like her to keep looking frumpy,
Oh, Chris.
Just like your grandmother.
I love you.
My grandmother was quite attractive. But, there were about 3 dresses back in that day.
Oh, I love you. Thanks so much for your call. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
She wants her to stay on being frumpy. We don't want her to win the presidency. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, old Josh Mays, J&W Horseshoeing, and he's got a special going till the end of this month of August. Listen to this. Only $20 for a trimming on your horse. $20 for a trimming on your horse. What are you waiting for? Old paint standing out there. Why, he's got hooves on him like a ski. You better give him a call right now. Josh Mays, J&W Horseshoeing, 432-2260 or 410-1837. I'll repeat that number again, 432-2260 and 410-1837. $20 trimming till the end of August. J&W Horseshoeing. You get a hold of them today. Okay? All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Thank you, Chris. I like that. Hey, by the way, I'm asking the question, what in the world? And I will, here's a little bit of a enticement, if you will. I will buy, and this is going to hurt me, a liberal Democrat lunch at Lunch Bunch on Thursday. If one liberal Democrat will call with the backbone and the spine to tell me why they could possibly support and advocate Hillary Clinton for president. Now, I know the gene pool out there is limited, but let's see if somebody's got the courage. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Yep, I'm telling you, I've been there, and I'm going to be going back, too, because I need their help. And they do such a wonderful job as physical therapists, working and helping you get back to being you, with all the exercises, sports medicine, hydrotherapy, pool with the treadmill in the bottom, walk, and everything. Oh, my goodness sakes, that really helps, let me tell you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. You call for an appointment today, 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. They will help you get back to being you. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning again. I want to keep things kind of going here, so let's talk about Sarah Palin. Can you even remember what she was wearing every time you seen her?
She wore...
Because she had a glow about her. And it took away from everything else.
Sarah Palin was a very dressed lady and always emanated first class. And I liked her attitude. I liked the way that she always looked first class and presentable. I honestly, there's no comparison. When you want to have somebody that stands up in front of a camera and looks the part, Sarah Palin always looked the part. And Hillary, not only her clothing but her hairstyle, sometimes she looks like she has taken a dog currying brush and has used it to brush her hair. I mean, it kind of goes at 9 points of the compass. And I just don't understand why this woman can't clean up her act. Not that I ever think she's worthy of voting, but I think she needs to absolutely address the American public in a more professional manner.
I just had to put that in there because sometimes we judge people by the way they dress.
Oh, I agree.
But you know, someone like her just turned you off immediately.
Yeah, but you know,
I heard on the news this morning that Donald Trump had jury duty.
Yep.
And when he went there, you know, people make fun of his hair and the way he does it and stuff. But they said, one thing we can say about him, he was the best-dressed person there.
Well, the thing is about clothing, and I know that I'll get hate mail over this, but you know what? You dress for success. And that's why I've been so anti the way the kids dress today. I mean, with their baggy jeans down below the crack of their butt and everything else. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if you think for 5 seconds that I, as an employer, would even think or contemplate about giving them a job and representing my company, you are crazy.
You know, last Friday, I had my 60th class reunion. Not the 60-year class reunion, I should say. And you can't imagine how everybody dressed. I'm really surprised at the people my age and how they dress.
Yeah.
Like one of them even came in shorts.
Oh, my. Well...
And, you know, it just... you know, you go to a funeral viewing, you see people dressed sloppily.
Yeah.
Or what. Sometimes we just come from work and we have to do those things, but some people just don't care about their appearance.
I agree. Keith, thank you so much for your call again. I think you brought up some really good points. Thank you very much. We've got to get a weather forecast in here. By the way, I want to say an apology. I am so sorry to this lady. I missed her birthday last week. It was given to me. It was on Thursday. And Barbara Dockstetter, if you're listening, happy belated birthday. I am sorry. It was nobody's fault but mine. It was on my desk, and I overlooked it, and you ought to see this desk. And so happy birthday belatedly to Barbara Dockstetter. Caller, please, your indulgence for just a minute. I've got to get a weather forecast in here. Stay on the line. Don't forget Mad River Laser at 502 East Street in Rupert. Nicole and the whole family. My goodness, they can customize all your sweatshirts with your name or your business logo, logo, your T-shirts, caps, jackets, everything. Oh, these people are good. Oh, my goodness. Everything they do is first class. So stop in or give them a call today. For the sweatshirts, they've got all the big names, Carhartt, Bernie, Nike. I almost said Nike again. I don't know why I do that. But anyway, Gildan, Hanes, you name it, they've got it. At Mad River Laser, Nike. There you go. And now the weather with Gina.
We are in a red flag warning due to the tender dry conditions and the wind for today. Also, air quality has been reduced because of all of the smoke in the area. So if you have asthma, some sort of upper respiratory issue, you might want to take note of that, okay? So just be careful out there today. Otherwise, sunny skies, slightly breezy, winds out of the southwest, right around 11 miles an hour. Expect a high of 82, tonight low of 51. Tomorrow, pretty much the same as today. Sunny, breezy, high of 84 with an overnight low of 51 as we move closer towards the weekend. Thursday, sunny skies and 88, and by Friday, winds picking up out of the west right around 20 miles an hour, sunny and 82. That's your weather forecast for Zephyr Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you, everybody, by my friends. They are great folks at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Good morning, caller. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Not a problem. I appreciate you, Zeb. But anyway, talking about Hillary, I don't know where she buys her clothes or if she gets them out of the Salvation Army. Not that there's anything wrong with the Salvation Army. I've been there many times myself. But, you know, if she thinks she's so gorgeous and can win an election by her looks, Zeb, she'd make a freight train take a dirt road. That's butt ugly, believe me.
I think you've kind of summed up the feelings of a lot of us in just a very few words. Thank you very much, and watch out for those freight trains jumping the tracks. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Have a good day, buddy.
I like that. Now, come on, be honest. You got to be honest and think about it. Every time you see Carly Fiorina on television, I mean, she looks very, very nice and always very perky. And boy, I mean, she is intelligent. And then you look at Hillary when she comes out clomping onto the stage with the pantsuits, and she's got the cuffs on the bottom, you know, the big cuffs on some of them. Holy smokes. Makes one wonder what time machine she jumped out of. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, I just wonder now why everybody was so hard on Bill.
I think there's some reasons behind the scenes for a lot of things. They always say an action is caused by a reaction or vice versa. Oh, I'm kind of feeling sorry for Wild Bill.
Well, you know, all people had to do is take one look at Hillary and they say, hey, whatever Bill does, he needs to do. That's politics.
It was a marriage of convenience. It was a marriage of money. It was a marriage of trying to get both to the highest elevated position in America. I don't think it's ever been one of those with a candlelight dinner, wine, and a lustful look in their eyes.
Well, another thing I've noticed is, you know, ever since the 60s, women have been trying to take over, well, some women, as men, and I think Hillary's about the closest they can come. I mean, that's pretty good.
I love some of the comments I'm hearing this morning, and I've got so many neat things I'd like to say back, but I'm biting my tongue. Thank you. God bless you for your call. Appreciate it. Thank you much.
Bye-bye.
I mean, really now, I know, like I said a moment ago, and I've said it many times, there are the liberals out in the audience that are just biding their time, and they're twiddling their thumbs right now, and they're coming up with all kinds of hate mail they can send me and everything because they don't have the nerve to call in on the program. I would love that. I really would love that if they would. But they won't. But Hillary, honestly, she's in a lot of trouble. She's trying to pass the buck. She's absolutely been a proven liar in the past. Why should I believe her now? She is absolutely the queen of Trump. And this woman just has no business even putting her name on a nomination form possibly to be thought of as president. Good heavens, America. There are so many better choices. And I never thought I would say this. I never thought I would say this. Joe Biden, come on in, buddy. Throw your hat in the ring. I think now is a great time. I will make a prediction here. and I probably will be wrong. No, that's not fair. Most of my predictions don't come close to being true, but I will make a prediction this morning that because of the elevated scariness of the email situation and the hiding of the documents and the illegality of what's going on, I make a prediction that Joe Biden will enter the race for the Democrats by September 15th. There is going to be a groundswell of support. There's going to be a begging for good old Joe to throw his hat in the presidential nomination race. You know, in all seriousness, and I mean this, when his son passed away, Beau Biden, and he had asked his dad literally on his deathbed, he said, would you please run for the presidency? I think that is going to come into play. More so now than ever. Your thoughts. Give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. What's going on at the Cassia County Fair right now? Well, I got to get Tuesday's report. My goodness, they're judging all the open class events, and they had the Queen's Breakfast this morning. And what else is cooking today? Holy smokes, they got the 4-H and FFA Sheep Quality Livestock Arena at 2 o'clock. And then tonight, oh my goodness, they got Team Ranch sorting at 7 p.m. in the Rodeo Arena. Every day this week, your great big, huge Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. And don't forget the big parade tomorrow on Wednesday. Holy smokes, it's a lot of fun for the whole family. The Cassia County Fair and Pro Rodeo. And later on this morning, we're going to be talking to Ryan Samples and kind of give a rundown of all the activity that is going on this week. Okay? Calls are welcome. Excuse me. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. We were talking about Miss Frumpy, Hillary Clinton, and all of her pantsuits. Can you imagine opening up the closet in the morning and seeing those pantsuits looking right back at you? Oh! It's got to be scary. My goodness, give us a call, please. You know, some ladies look very, very nice in pantsuits. Very nice. Very professional. Not Hillary. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I promise I will share with you on the air, if it is in language that is FCC acceptable, some of the, I know that are coming emails of hate from some of the ladies out there in our audience. Good morning, you're on the air, go ahead.
I want to add insult to injury.
My goodness, is all you do is just dial your phone in the morning? What are you doing?
I have speed dial.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hillary, when they were questioning her about the Benghazi things,
yeah,
did you see those hoodoo glasses she was wearing?
Oh, my, yeah.
Let's add that to the pantsuit deal and see how many people like that.
Yeah, those glasses were, they weren't flattering at all. As a matter of fact, she looked like an oversized owl.
You're certainly right there.
Okay, Keith.
On the other hand, Sarah Palin wore glasses because she needed to, but she was very attractive in them.
Yeah.
In fact, many of the glass companies went to her and said, you know, can we have glasses made by, you know,
yeah.
The fashion statement.
Well, I think Hillary absolutely has set her own fashion statement as being the frumpiest presidential candidate in the history of the United States. Keith, I got to do a commercial, buddy. Thank you so much.
And she's an insult to the Owl family.
Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, and service is the key word. Don't forget forget they've got the best in brake value, promise, and service, professionally trained technicians, premium quality parts. They know brakes. They know front-end alignments and shocks and struts. They know batteries. They know all about all of their tires, all the different tread designs. Each and every one of these guys took a college course in tireology, and believe me, they know tires. And they've got a lot of them on sale right now, like the Strategy year-round traction, 60,000-mile warranty for your cars. Stop in and see any one of the 7 locations today. And they are Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Yep. The best, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got time for another call. Give me a jingle real quick, 436-2244. Tomorrow night in Jerome, my old buddy, heavy on the word old buddy Dave Zanino is going to have another of the Jerome Team Roping Series. Sign up. I think he's still holding to sign up at 7:30, rope at 8. So don't forget that. Tomorrow night at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. What else have we got here this morning? Real quick, let's see. I talked about the fair. I talked about the school. I talked about Ron Kessler, and nobody wants to work for Hillary as a security detail. Oh! A lot of conservatives are endorsing Donald Trump's immigration program. I've got a copy of it right here on my desk, and we're going to be talking about that with Frosty Woolridge coming up at 9:06 this morning. And I'll tell you what, I am absolutely ecstatic that somebody, regardless of who it is, somebody put together a plan that's going to protect you and me more so than the illegals coming into our country. We're going to take a little break and be back in about 6 minutes. Zeb at the Ranch, Frosty Woolridge next. Don't go away. Holy cow. Nice day so far. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations here in the Valley serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Valley-Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. And our friends at Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
I tell you what, I had the honor of writing a couple of commercials for the Western Waste folks, and I think you're going to get a kick out of them, especially the porta potty ones. Watch for them. They're on their way out to the public in just a very few days. Don't forget, they're always serving you. I tell you what, their slogan, always at your disposal, is true. They'll take care of your garbage. They can help you with all the porta potties. They can take care of all that you don't want to handle. That's right. They take care of it for you. Always people that are locally owned and operated. Western Waste Services. At your disposal, 734-6969. Really nice people. Before we get my buddy on the phone this morning, I've got to remind you too, Ted's Diesel and Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Heyburn, right there on El Fresco Road. Doug Martin, really good old boy. Yep, look up Good Old Boys. There's his picture. He can rebuild starters, alternators, generators, and also sell new. Get a hold of him today, Ted's Diesel Electric, moving to 635 21st Street in Heyburn. You know, when we talk about good people, absolutely this name always comes up in the conversation. Joel Heward of Hanson Mortuary. One of the absolute nicest people I've ever been around. Always with a smile on his face, and his family and staff serving you. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, and they can travel to rural towns and churches to help you with the arrangements when there's the passing of a loved one, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please give them a call, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Well, lo and behold, let's go on the phone line right now to my buddy, Colorado. Hello, Frosty Woldridge.
Good morning, Zebin. Good morning to each listener. Boy, oh boy, things are shaking up across the nation right now, and it's kind of exciting that somebody wants to stand up for America, so I'm excited to talk about it.
You know, Frosty, I didn't even realize where to start this morning with you, because I have in my hand, and I'm sure that you, with your diligence, have probably taken it off the web service and read it, but the immigration reform put together by Donald Trump. I read it, I studied it, I highlighted it, I underlined it. I like it.
Let's just say I like it a lot. This is the first time in 30 years that one American citizen and a leader has stood up for the American working man and woman, has stood up for the rule of law. It stands up and speaks out with the facts and the truth. And truly, this is an exciting moment in history, because the pundits are now saying that Donald Trump has a very good chance of becoming the Republican nominee for the presidency of the United States. And I'll tell you what, this could bring America back. I am excited beyond words, and so I'm right with you on this. This is it's extraordinary. I do understand that even he consulted with Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions is a U.S. Senator from Alabama who's been on the forefront of the immigration crisis now for well over 20 years. And with that kind of collaboration, we now have America having a chance to right itself, and this is a great moment in history.
There's a lot of things I want to discuss about this immigration plan with Donald Trump, but I want to ask you this, and I'm not trying to be facetious at all. I asked this question the first hour. What possibly, from any sane voter that wants to see the best for America, what possibly could be a motivating reason to vote for Hillary Clinton? I mean, she's never done anything. She's never accomplished anything. She's been in a life of turmoil with all the questions about their integrity and their honesty and their money. What? Honestly, help me, Frosty Woldridge, because I can't see anything that would lead anybody with a sane mind to want to vote for her.
Well, that's correct. As a matter of fact, if you go to my Facebook page, Frosty Woldridge, you will see where she was kicked off a 1970 commission because she was flat out, the head of the commission called her a liar, that she had undermined the U.S. Constitution right on down the line, and that he was not going to tolerate that. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can see the whole thing. And so the fact is, Hillary Clinton is quickly losing any kind of grip on the presidency just because of her past. And her past is one of really unethical behavior. I mean, how could any woman stay married to a man who was out literally chasing women up and down the streets from the governorship right there in Arkansas all the way to the White House, and think that that was some kind of integrity to stand by her man? It just means she was in collusion with her man, with the kind of dishonesty, lack of moral scruples, the lack of any kind of literally, it takes your mind and just makes you dizzy thinking about the unscrupulous behavior of somebody like a Bill Clinton and a Hillary Clinton, and then they stayed together through it all, only for one thing: power and money.
You know, what you just said is absolutely a reverberation of what I said in the first hour. There's no, like I mentioned in the first hour, I still find it hard to believe there's a candlelight dinner with wine and soft music playing in the background, and they look at each other with lustful eyes. Never. This is just a purely power marriage. Would you agree?
Totally a power marriage. Has nothing to do with love. Has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with marriage, what they have created in their lives. And if the American people voted again for something like that, then I'm sorry, the vibrational frequencies, the negative karma that goes with that, if you want to use the word karma, or just the negative aspect of all of that. I'm sorry, I want a president with integrity. Now, you can jump all over, the different, all sorts, and you can even jump on the bandwagon as far as Donald Trump. But the fact is, the man is showing integrity, and the man is showing his ability to lead. And I am looking for a man or a woman that's going to lead this country. And right now, Donald Trump is the top of the list.
Let me read, bear with me on this, Frosty. I want to read one paragraph about Mexico paying for the wall in Trump's immigration reform plan, and then I want you to give us your thoughts on this. Here it is, quote, Mexico must pay for the wall, and until they do, the United States will, among other things, impound all remittance payments derived from illegal wages, increase fees on all temporary visas issued to Mexican CEOs and diplomats, and if necessary, cancel them. Increase fees on all border crossing cards, of which we issue about 1 million to Mexican nationals each year, a major source of visa overstays. Increase fees on all NAFTA worker visas from Mexico, another major source of overstays, and increase fees at ports of entry to the United States from Mexico. Tariffs and foreign aid cuts are also options. We will not be taken advantage of anymore. Your thoughts?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We're talking about a man who's going to stand up for every working man and woman out there that's being completely screwed by illegal immigration. And from what the rest of his mandate speaks, we're going to have a moratorium on all legal immigration, which is desperately needed, because we don't need to add 100,000 third world immigrants into our country every 30 days, because there's no way to accommodate them, and there's no way that our working poor, our African Americans, our Hispanic Americans, our poor Caucasian Americans don't have a prayer against this onslaught, both legally and illegally. So this is, again, Marco Rubio is eating his words right now. Lindsey Graham is far fading into the background. Jeb Bush he can't even stand on, he's standing on a papier-mâché platform and can't get a grip. And even Scott Walker, and right on down the line, none of them have the brains, or they don't have the chutzpah, they don't have the gumption, the grit, or the guts to really bring out an immigration policy like this, which means they're not serving us. And so that's why you're seeing Donald Trump just shoot to the top of the polls, not only with conservative Americans, Republicans, but for libertarians and everyone affected by mass immigration into this country. It's pretty exciting. And guess what? As a secondary aspect, even Europe right now, Great Britain is now considering their immigration crisis and shutting their own borders down. So this is a man for America, but also a man that's going to stand up for America and literally give us the truth, which everybody's been crying now for the last 30 years.
I agree. Hey, we've got a caller with a question. Quickly, caller, before we run out of time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Frosty would be proud of what's happened here in CSI, the situation with his refugees, all these Syrian refugees coming in here. I would like him to comment about that. I'm sure he's aware of the 65,000 Syrian unvetted refugees coming from Syria, which is a failed state. Unfortunately, the college here is planning to bring these in here, and we're very fearful in this area, and we just can't get the local trustees, the local politicians, the news media, other than yourself and a few others, to be concerned about this. So I'd like him to comment about all of these unvetted Syrian Muslim refugees coming in here. And of course, even World Net Daily pointed out that they've already found terrorists posing as refugees. Right. So I would like him to comment about that.
Okay, thank you.
It's a serious issue coming from 190 communities around the nation.
All right, thank you very much for your call.
Community.
And thank you very much for your call, and I will have him address that. You know, Frosty, there are many, many towns and locations across the country right now that are going to be subjected to a forced introduction of the Syrian Muslims, refugees. And again, to say say that they are vetted? No. The FBI said it's not happening the way it should. Homeland Security Office said it's not happening the way it should because they absolutely do not know who these people are, and many could and have in the past, in Minneapolis especially, represented terror organizations. What are your thoughts? Because that is another cog in the wheel with our immigration flaws.
I'm excited that I just got back from a weekend of backpacking on the Colorado Trail, and so I did a lot of homework last night, pretty well exhausted. But there is a new House representative who is pitching a new bill to stop the UN refugee resettlement program because we simply don't have the facilities, we don't have the money, and we don't have the ability to take on all of these Syrian refugees. And the word is out that they will exceed 100,000 Syrian Muslim refugees. And the fact is, we already take in 100,000 legal immigrants every 30 days into this country, and now the Barack Obama wants to cede this country. If anyone read my series on this immigration into our country, post-American culture at newswithviews.com, there was a lady who followed up on this, and it's called Hajira, Hajira, where Muslims seed other countries with their Muslim immigrants, and then those Muslim immigrants start powering their way up and destroying the culture, the language, and the way of life of each one of these countries. It's already happened, of course, into Great Britain, Norway, Sweden, Holland, Belgium, into Germany right now, France and Sweden, you name it, and even Italy, and even Austria. So I'm excited that one of the House of Representatives is now pitching a bill to stop this refugee resettlement program into the United States, because it will absolutely be the death of our country if this continues.
You know, there are so many categories in Donald Trump's immigration reform plan, and I'll just give you some of the headlines without reading everything about it. Defend the laws and Constitution of the United States, triple the number of ICE officers, nationwide E-Verify, mandatory return of all criminal aliens, detention, not catch and release, defund sanctuary cities, enhance penalties for overstaying a visa, cooperate with local gang task forces through ICE. The list goes on and on. This is one of the best reports, honestly, that I've ever seen. But the one I want you to comment on, he said, end birthright citizenship. This remains the biggest magnet for illegal immigration. Go ahead, comment on that one.
That's correct. And Zeb, and every listener at Zeb at the Ranch right now, understand this. Ann Coulter called this new immigration policy by Donald Trump the Magna Carta of America's future. That is a heavy statement. This Donald Trump is a Magna Carta of our liberation from all of this massive immigration that's been happening to our country now, legally and illegally, for the last 30 years since the 1986 amnesty. And so this is exciting beyond all measure. Every American should be jumping up and down, whether they're a liberal or whether they're independent, whether they're conservative, whether they're whatever they are, not even involved, because we cannot continue this massive overload onslaught of our country. There's no way to survive this thing. So that's the excitement of this.
Absolutely.
Magna Carta of the 21st century, liberating America from this massive immigration onslaught. I'm excited about it.
I am too. Caller, quickly. We're running out of time. Go fast.
Yes, the problem with birthright citizenship is that it's in the Constitution, and that is an issue. And in this case, the other side would definitely force us to do a constitutional amendment or something. So I wonder what you think about that. And then also, in the end, we must win. Who can win? Because even if it was Jeb Bush, it would be better than the anarchist in chief, and I'll hang up.
Good questions, good points. Yeah, we would be up for a constitutional amendment, and that is a little scary, Frosty. But I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of illegals come here just basically to birth their child and thus not leave the United States of America. Something has got to be done to stop those numbers.
That's correct, and it's the birthright citizenship. There are several. There's one big bill. I think it's H.R. 1968 by Steve Stevens out of Iowa to stop birthright citizenship. Most Americans don't know this. I just talked to somebody on the train this weekend from Texas. Didn't have a clue that Detroit, Michigan was turning into a Muslim caliphate. Didn't have a clue that there were 350,000 women came into this country every year pregnant illegally and birthed their children, which then got onto your tax dollar, your back. You're paying for 350,000 new babies every year. They're not even American babies, but you're paying for them. And most Americans don't understand the enormous billions and billions in costs. And it's from the 14th Amendment, which was meant for black slaves that were now American citizens after the Emancipation Proclamation. And so this is a misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment, and we simply have to tweak it back to and not have it apply to any illegal alien mothers coming across the border having a child. And anything we do is better than what's going on right now. So we have to change the 14th Amendment misinterpretation by making more specific that illegal aliens cannot have a child and have it an instant jackpot baby, American citizenship, period.
You know, Frosty, I've never been in a long time, and you and I are the same age, I've never been so excited about politics and a presidential election as I am now. And I'll say this, even if Donald Trump does not win the nomination, even if Donald Trump does not win the presidency, he has, I believe, put on the role of cheerleader outfit that nobody is going to take away from these issues, and they have to be addressed. I think he's opened up a can of worms that regardless who the nominee is, they have to address these terms.
I agree with you, Zeb. And at the same time, I think he's got a very good chance of becoming the Republican nominee for the President of the United States of America. And to me, I am ready after the 7 years of this god-awful man that's sitting there in the White House, who is against the United States, who's doing everything he can to usurp our laws and completely miscarriage our Constitution. I'm ready for an all-American. And whether it's the great Teddy Roosevelt back in 1902, or this American who's brash, who's bold, who's exciting, who's successful, I'm ready for that kind of leadership, because what we've had in the last 10 years for sure, the last 7 years for doggone sure, is absolutely a mess, and it can't go on, and we can't afford to have another, what you would call a leader sitting in the White House that will not stand up for the American average working man or woman and our country and our ethos and our culture and our language. I'm ready for a Donald Trump for a president of the United States.
I'll tell you what, we will talk more next week on this immigration reform, because there's so many points that we didn't get a chance to go into this morning. But I know you'll do your homework and be ready and all fired up next week on Tuesday. God bless you, my dear friend in Golden, Colorado, Frosty Woolridge. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Zeb. Godspeed, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much. One of my dear friends, and he's been on this program for a long, long time, Frosty Woolridge. You know, if you get a chance, you need to get on the website, Trump, Make America Great Again. Read the PDF version of the immigration reform that will make America great again. I honestly can't find one thing I disagree with. I'm serious. Normally when I read this kind of stuff, there's always a couple of points of interest that I go, I don't know about that, and I question that. This is what we need. It's a long time in coming. Thank you, Donald Trump. Right now, I got to pay some bills and remind everybody every morning when we start the show, we always have our weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door or give them a call at 678-6945. All your carpet, flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, newly refurbished furniture, great ideas to make your house a home. Cheney Flooring and Home Design in Burley. Really good folks. Hey, by the way, too, the Cache County Fair and Rodeo in full swing, and we want to remind you that if you have a family coming in and company coming in and they're going to stay at your house for the fair, oh no, get them a room at the Burley Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, 230 West 7th Street in Burley. And use your own bathroom anytime you want to. Oh, my goodness. Fantastic rooms, great breakfast, everything else at the Burley Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, 677-5000. Easy Money Auto, RV, and Repair, 200 Overland in Burley. These are really fun, good folks. And believe me, they've got a great selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, etc. And they'd love the opportunity to get you into your new used car today at Easy Money Auto. So stop in and see them. And also Kelly's Bearing Supply at 1407 East Main in Burley, 678-9398. And they always say you will know where you are when you get your bearings at Kelly's. These are really good folks serving you, Zach and Brett at Kelly's Bearing Supply in Burley. And they all want you to attend the Cache County Fair and Rodeo. I've got my guest on the phone in just a moment, a really good guy, one of my super good friends on this program, and that's Dan Gaynor is going to be with us momentarily. Stand by. I'll be right with you, Dan. Don't forget, let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn, where the fun is sold. Absolutely, they've got all the ATVs, all the different colors, all the different sizes and shapes, all the accessories, and a great service department, too. All you have to do is just get on over there and then enjoy the great Idaho outdoors. This is where the fun is sold. Stop over and see them today at Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24, like I said, between Rupert and Heyburn. Number to call, 436-4771. Where the fun is sold, let's ride. By the way, if you're over on Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn, don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Yep, these guys are great. They can help you, protect you, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, and more. Super good folks that are responsive to your needs. All you need to do is call and make an appointment today at 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Let's go to the phone lines right now. And as I said, I'm very blessed to have a good friend of this program on the air, Vice President of the Media Research Center, Mr. Dan Gaynor. Dan, good morning to you. How are you?
Doing well. How are things out west?
Well, wild and woolly, but you know something? It's getting a little wild and woolly in all parts of the compass with the Clinton campaign. Things look like they're going to get a little bit more than dangerous for Hillary. Before we get into our allotted topic this morning, quickly, what did you think about all these emails that are cropping up, over 300 now, that are illicit, illegal, and might lead to a felony charge against Hillary?
Well, I think in the current environment, we're not likely to see anybody prosecuted for anything, no matter what. But there's a wonderful story that just came out from the Daily Mail, and you can't expect the American press to do their jobs, but the Daily Mail exclusive. Hillary's email firm was run from a loft apartment with its servers in the bathroom.
What?
Raising new questions over security of sensitive messages she held. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that's a stunning reality, and it would be interesting to see whether the American media choose to pick up on it. They've done what they can to isolate Hillary from this fiasco. There's going to come a certain point, just as it comes with all scandals,
where the media, even if they are uninterested in covering it, they're going to be forced to. They're just going to have no choice and say, okay, this is done. We've got to focus on it.
Absolutely. Dan, I am so glad you're on the program this morning, because when I was sent the email regarding the news media, anchors that are highly respected, per se, in the news media are refusing to use the word baby when they're talking about these heinous videos, and also what Planned Parenthood has allegedly done in the possibility of selling baby parts, and Planned Parenthood with their absolutely terrible abortion techniques. One that comes to mind, a 13-year-old went and got an abortion without ever having any contact with their parents or notification. What is going on in the news media that they will not say the word baby?
Well, the media have this very bizarre attitude that if you don't want your child, it's not a baby. You know, it's fetal tissue, it's aborted fetuses, it's fetal organs, it's body parts. They don't want to tell you. We're talking about children. We're talking about human beings, because, you know, you and I have talked about this before. The American journalists are doctrinaire when it comes to abortion, gay marriage, and a couple other key issues. Mm-hmm. But abortion is, they're close to 100%. Even many of so-called conservative journalists are pro-abortion. And when we're talking about pro-abortion for the major media, we're not talking about what a lot of people think when they hear the term at home. You know, we're not talking about, they support a woman's right to choose in the first trimester. No, the media are supporting a woman killing her baby, not just the first trimester, but the second or the third.
Yeah.
Remember, Planned Parenthood's lobbyist in Florida a couple years ago very clearly stated that she thought that if a child was born as a result of a failed abortion, that child's life would be subject to what the parents and the doctor wanted to do, not subject to basic laws of the land and how you would treat any other human being.
You know, Dan, you, in your role with the Media Research Center and Vice President, you see, you dissect, you look at all these stories every day, you sit back and discern what your thoughts are and what the approach should be. But when you look at what Planned Parenthood is doing, and you look at the doctors involved, which I question how they can even keep their license and support the Hippocratic Oath, but have we reached the point of barbarism in this country where the value of life is completely gone?
Oh, we're way past it. It sounds like a snarky comment. It's not intended to be. I've been in this job 11 years. Before that, I spent a couple decades plus in journalism. In that time, this is one of the most alarming stories I've ever seen. To think that in 2015 America, that we could have institutions that not just butcher more than a million children, babies every year, but then turn around and sell many of those body parts for medical research. It's something right out of some sort of horror movie.
Dan, you know, when we say this about the unborn and the lack of protections for human life on the babies, I want to look at the other end of the scale, because now that I'm a little long in the tooth and gray in the beard, what about a promotion of a hemlock society for senior citizens? It seems like babies and seniors are the target of the left. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. We've created a culture of death in America. And not we, because you and I think, I dare say, pretty much anybody listening to this program are not part of that. But we've allowed our society to become part of it. We've allowed our media to make it happen. Hollywood movies celebrate death. They show shootings and violence so much so it's astonishing. TV, the same. it's no surprise to me then to see that Planned Parenthood, which is in many cases, retroactive, birth control for people willing to be irresponsible. It's not surprising to me then that in turn we have, that culture.
Mm-hmm. Is there, with the right leadership, and I mean this, I'm trying to be the eternal optimist, but with right leadership in this country, can the United States walk away from this very black hole and put things back on track again?
I would like to think that obviously what the Bible teaches is not to give up, but there was a line in a song from the 90s that I know I've quoted to you before, all is not lost, not yet. You don't give up. I mean, our country, we are still the best country in the world. And if we give up, then we're handing over our country to the people who won't value life, who will do everything they can to go the opposite direction.
Does it surprise you, Dan, when you pick up the newspaper and you see that certain governors of certain states, like Democratic governors in Virginia, New Hampshire, Minnesota, New York, Washington, are still supporting Planned Parenthood and are refusing to investigate, but then also our governor here in the state of Idaho, Butch Otter, has refused to investigate Planned Parenthood? Why? Why would they stand up for some group that has created such a turmoil with civilized society?
I think that they stand up, I think journalists stand up for Planned Parenthood because it's doctrine. I think they don't think about children as life. They don't value life. They value doctrine. I mean, there's your average reporter or editor or producer in this country is, in most cases, a very doctrinaire liberal. I can tell you from years in journalism. And, that is just who they are. It's who they are when they decide to write a story. It's who they are when they interview somebody. It's who they are when they choose what sources to interview. It's up and down the line. That's who they are.
Give me a speculative answer on this, but if any of the top three anchors on ABC, CBS, or NBC all of a sudden came out tonight and really questioned the integrity of Planned Parenthood and really questioned the barbarism of what's going on with Planned Parenthood, what do you think would happen to their careers?
I think they'd be in deep trouble because we've seen, look how the media goes after publicly concerned Christians. Tim Tebow. Yeah, Tim Tebow, you almost take your team to the NFL championship, but people are going to attack you endlessly because you're very public about being Christian. And then look at how little the media care about the Planned Parenthood story already. I'm trying to picture somebody from ABC doing that. ABC, which has barely covered the story at all, and the networks. One of the things they do is they show controversial video when they want to and hide it when they don't. Mm-hmm. So they've done some stories on Planned Parenthood, but they won't show you the awful parts of the video. Oh, well, we can't show that. Well, that's the whole essence of the news, you idiots.
Absolutely. Dan, I tell you what, talking to you is always refreshing because there is still hope. You are the fountain of hope back there with the Media Research Center, and I just wish we could change the thinking of a lot of the media, like these anchors, etc. Dan Gaynor, Vice President of Media Research Center, thank you for coming on the program, and I'll have you back soon. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
God bless. Thank you much. It just absolutely blows my mind, and I mean this, as to how people can advocate barbarism. That's what it is, barbarism. And you heard him when I asked about barbarism. He said, well, we've already been there. It's getting worse. There is no appreciation or respect for life. And that's why I wanted to get his take on the senior citizens. Little by little, I find stories coming across my desk of different groups, different doctors, and I use that term loosely, different leaders of different groups that are advocating a certain time, a certain year of your life that all of a sudden you sit down, take a pill, and get out of the way. You're not needed. You're unnecessary. And you're a hindrance and an encumbrance. Get out of the way. So here we have a society that does not have a value on babies being born into this world. And we talk about doctors. I don't even know how they can adhere anything to the Hippocratic Oath when they sit there and talk about, well, we'll dismember this and we'll try to keep this intact and then we'll sell this for so much money and I'll get a new Lamborghini. And then we have on the other side of the spectrum those that say, well, they're in the way. Let's just set a certain year, 70, 75, whatever. Get rid of them. Kill them. What kind of a society are we living in? No appreciation and respect for life. Time for the weather, and it's brought to you by Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. I've said so many times that if you're hungry, that's a great place to take the family. If you love entertainment while you're eating, oh my, they've got great entertainment. And they got a new sandwich there at Duck Uglies, the pastrami sandwich. Oh my, good. Absolutely. You stop in and enjoy. And breakfast Monday through Friday, too. Breakfast burritos knock your boots off great. Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Here now, Gina with the weather.
We are in a red flag warning due to the tender dry conditions and the wind for today. Also, air quality has been reduced because of all of the smoke in the area. So if you have asthma, some sort of upper respiratory issue, you might want to take note of that, okay? So just be careful out there today. Otherwise, sunny skies, slightly breezy, winds out of the southwest, right around 11 miles an hour. Expect a high of 82, tonight low of 51. Tomorrow, pretty much the same as today. Sunny, breezy, high of 84 with an overnight low of 51 as we move closer towards the weekend. Thursday, sunny skies and 88, and by Friday, winds picking up out of the west right around 20 miles an hour, sunny and 82. That's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Great weather forecast. Duck Uglies bringing you the weather this hour, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Great food and great entertainment. How about giving me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What are your thoughts? Are we, the United States, turning into a barbaric society? Or, like Dan thought, we're already there. We don't appreciate life. Oh, well, you've got a problem. You're in the way. Here, take a pill. Or, you're an unwanted baby. Here, sutures. No baby. Senior citizen in a wheelchair. Maybe a war veteran. Business owner that has contributed so much to the community. You're in the way. You're over 70 or 75. Here, take a pill. Get out of the way. Is that what we're coming to in this country? What are your thoughts? I'm scared of the lack of respect for human life. I'll give you an example. That the VA in Los Angeles, they didn't know what to do with certain veterans' claims, so they shredded them and threw them away. They didn't care about their lives. They didn't care about their welfare. They shredded the claims and threw them away. Every one of those absolute imbeciles should be thrown out on the street, if not beaten before they're thrown out on the street, and unemployed. We didn't know what to do with them. So we shredded them and threw them away. No thought at all to the human misery and suffering of our vets. They shredded and threw them away. Is that what's happening in our society with our babies? People that have no way of standing up and speaking for themselves. Partial birth abortions, kill the baby, put it on a gurney till it expires, and then we'll go ahead and get rid of the body. Senior citizens, they're in the way. Look at them all clogging up that sidewalk in their wheelchairs. Get rid of them. I am absolutely enraged to think that the value of human life in this country has been put at a minimum. I'm enraged to the point where I'm ready to fight. And when I hear about Planned Parenthood and their abortions, and I hear about Planned Parenthood with taking in a 13-year-old girl, giving her an abortion, and never contacting the mom and dad, yeah, I'm ready to fight. Give me your thoughts. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget the Mayfair Sellers Men's Shop. Everything you need to go back to school in style. Look good, feel good, study good, learn good. All of August, take 25 to 50% off the t-shirts, jeans, shorts, hoodies, wallets, backpacks. Oh, yeah, brand names like DC, Quicksilver, and Lucky Brand. Oh, you better believe the Seller Men's Shop. Locally owned and operated for over 50 years in downtown Burley. Look good from the Mayfair Sellers Men's Shop. Yes, sirree. Calls are welcome. Come on. This is a topic that I want your opinion on. Give me a jingle. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, I want to remind you about the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. Holy moly, they are packing the fairgrounds right now as we speak. They're getting everything in there, all the lambs, all the goats, all the dairy cattle, all the beef cattle, all the horses. Everything is hitting the fairgrounds over there. And tomorrow on Wednesday, that's when all the judging is going to start full bore. You can bet on it. Then tomorrow night, all the barrel racing slack at the rodeo arena. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one of the best PRCA rodeos in the state of Idaho. Wow, all of this and more at the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. You stop over and enjoy the good folks in Gooding at the county fair. All right, your turn. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Sometimes I am a little bit more than shocked that when you get a subject that is as gross as this, Planned Parenthood, abortions, selling body parts, and then like a Hemlock Society for senior citizens, what is it that people won't call? I hope people aren't afraid to voice their opinions on this. I hope they're not inhibited because, maybe my neighbor might hear me and recognize my voice. I better not say anything. That's not a free society. That's one where there's a culture of doom and gloom and somebody's got a thumb down on top of you. So please give me a call and let me know what your thoughts are. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I almost forgot the number and I apologize for that. Let's see what else have we got here. Oh, our military troops are being sent in to fight the fires in 7 western states. Wildfires are raging. And this is the first time they've been called in for, 10 to 15 years, something like that. And real bad over in the Hawaii area. And we certainly hope and pray that the fires, and I mean this, no more fires. I certainly hope we get a good rain in the next couple of days and it'll squelch anything that might burn. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zep. This is Jeff. How are you today?
I'm good, sir. Go ahead.
Let's talk about the senior citizen thing first. What I believe is that there is a proportion of our society that has forgotten about the value of our senior citizens. They have a wealth of knowledge that we're throwing away. I agree.
And,
especially the people that were around in the era of the World War II and Korea and that, they have knowledge that our society still needs. And I don't mean book knowledge. I mean the kind of knowledge like, how to be a good citizen, how to be, care for other people, how to do a good job and not expect to be, given everything.
Yeah.
Work for what you get.
No, I totally agree with you, and I'm beyond shocked as to how uncivilized our society is becoming and how barbaric our society is coming, thanks to the liberal, loony, absolutely crazy left in this country.
Yeah. Now, the other side of that with the abortion issue, personally, I'm against abortion. I don't think it's right, especially like these people are doing with this real late-term abortion. I've even gotten away from the, what in the case of rape or incest? Well, in that case, I really don't see the reason to abort the child because the child can go to term, be born, and I'm sure there are some loving parents out there that want to be, or some people that want to be parents that can't have one of their own, say.
Absolutely.
And they would be more than happy to adopt that child and raise it as their own and give it a good home.
I appreciate your call. I've got some final remarks to make this hour, and then we're going to wrap it up. But thank you very much for having the intestinal fortitude to call on this subject. Thank you very much.
You too. Have a good day, Deb.
Thank you, sir. I have a question for you folks out in the audience. For those that are a little bit gray like I am, okay? Do you remember the Saturday Evening Post? Do you remember the covers that were painted on there depicting American life, family life, going to church, going on a picnic? You remember those Norman Rockwell covers? Just ask yourself this question right now. In our society today, with rampant drug use, low-life bums, and that's what they are, laying around a city park smoking marijuana, abortion, no respect for the elderly. What kind of covers for the Saturday Evening Post would Norman Rockwell paint today that would depict the goodness and the wholesomeness of America? What kind of covers would he put on that magazine today? And I'll bet his subject matter for those covers would be very limited. We've lost the value of this United States of America. You go ahead and shake your head. You don't know what you're talking about, Mel. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Mom and Dad and the kids sat down at the dinner table together, held their hands together, and prayed. They were very thankful for that meal. They went to church together on Sunday morning. Maybe they went to a picnic together with the rest of their family Sunday afternoon. Those are the good things that I remember on covers of the Saturday Evening Post. What are we going to show today? Think about that and give me an answer tomorrow, first hour. What are we going to show as goodness in this country, the United States of America, today? I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back with Dr. History at 10:06, and then we're going to be talking about the Cache County Fair at 10:30 with Ryan Samples. Don't go away, Zeb at the Ranch. We got a lot more. Don't bother me. We're talking about maple bars with bacon. I love it. We're going to have Dr. History here in a few moments. We're going over the old days here in just a moment. That's why we call this next segment Dr. History. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. God bless them. They're really good folks. Along with some of our great advertisers, Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Get on the route service today, 734-6900. 969. And Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valley White Home and Ranch. Oh, and by the way, Ted's Diesel and Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. Yep, Doug Martin and his crew, new location to better serve you with the rebuilding of starters, alternators, and generators, and they also sell brand new Ted's Diesel Electric. Excuse me, I choked to death. Moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. Before we introduce Dr. History, I also want to remind you about the Chadwick. Oh, good food. Let's see what the special is today. Oh, you're going to love this. I want to go there. The Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Today's special, along with all the other great menu choices, chicken curry over white rice served with veggies and super salad. I'm drooling. That sounds delicious. At the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Great people, great menu at the Chadwick Sports Grill. You stop in and see them today. Well, Dr. History is brought to you by Minnecasia Sales. Man, they are good folks. Old Zacatec. I'll tell you what, they really take care of you with all your lumber and remodeling needs and all the carpet, everything right there at Minnecasia Sales. And the Western Windows. Save on your heating and cooling bills with the Western Windows from Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport, 878-2091. Woo! Here he is, without further ado, Dr. History.
Good morning, Zeb. How you doing today?
My friend, how are you?
Good. A little smoke in the air still.
Little? I can't see you. There's something in front of us here.
You know, I worked for the BLM for 3 summers on the fire crew.
Really?
Yeah, and when those fires get going, it can chase you. It's scary.
You know, I'm praying right now, and I mean this, that we're seeing that the military is going to get involved and help fight the fires. First time in about 10 or 15 years that's happened. I hope we get some really hard rain showers.
You know, we need it. This has been one of the worst for I don't know how many years as far as fires. So,
well, what are we going to talk about this morning?
Well, if we could
I'm scared to ask.
You're going to like this.
Okay.
If we could go outside your house right now and look to the north, we would, in 1810.
Okay.
Back in 1810.
1810.
We would see a group of people going up the Snake River and headed for the Columbia River.
Yeah.
The Wilson Price Hunt Party.
Oh, I've read about them.
Yeah. These guys, what they went through. But anyway, you know, the Pacific Fur Company was formed in New York City by John Jacob Astor.
Right.
And on June 23rd, 1810, shortly thereafter, he sent 2 parties to the mouth of the Columbia River, one by sea, the other by land. Now, I've read his book, and the one that went by sea, that's quite a fascinating story, but we're not going to get into that today. We're going to talk about the Wilson Price Hunt that headed the company, and he led the Overland Party.
Why did Astor want to finance that?
He wanted a monopoly on the entire fur business in the world.
So basically controlling interest.
He wanted the whole thing. He wanted to be able to ship it to Japan, China, Europe, so he wanted a monopoly on the whole entire thing.
I see.
So 1810. But anyway, in this overland group, there were 64 people, including a pregnant Sioux Indian woman who was the wife of the party's interpreter, whose name was Pierre Dorian. And they had 2 children, ages 2 and 5, and plus, like I say, pregnant at this time.
Yeah.
So anyway, the journey was actually pretty good until they reached the Snake River. And you've been up and down the river, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But they came in about where Sugar City and Ashton and that area, right in there. But anyway, 1811, the Overland Party arrived at a trading post on the North Fork of the Snake. It was called Henry's Fort.
Oh, my.
Now, this was the first American post west of the main ridge of the Rockies, had been built the previous summer, but its founder, this guy named Andrew Henry, and his employees, they abandoned it because they almost starved through one winter, and they decided that was enough, so they left this fort. But anyway, they were tired of traveling by horseback, so the members of the Hunt Party decided to use these big cottonwood trees growing along the river to build canoes to float down the Snake. So you have an idea what's coming.
Absolutely.
Because they wanted to go all the way on the Snake clear to the Columbia.
Okay.
Well, Wilson Price Hunt negotiated with 2 local Shoshone Indians to watch the party's horses, which they had about 100 head, until the following year when they'd come back. So he'd left their horses. But the Indians warned Hunt. They said that river travel on the Snake is not possible. But because a member of the party was suffering from an ailment that made riding on a horse torture,
I wonder what you're referring to.
The warning went unheeded. I'll just say that.
Let me ask you this. Were there reports that had been filtered back east and everything about the treacherous Shoshone and Twin Falls?
I don't know that because the Lewis and Clark was only 1805.
Yeah.
So we're only 5 years later.
Yeah.
So I don't know that anybody really knew about the Snake River. I think they might have known about it, but nobody had ever really seen it.
I see.
So
okay.
Anyway, so 4 men were left in the vicinity of Henry's Fort to trap beaver. The rest of the party loaded 15 canoes with supplies, and they continued their journey toward the Columbia. Now, the voyage down the Snake began pretty smooth. The day was clear and cold. Landscape was warm from the sun, the cottonwood trees lining the river. Just a kind of a nice little canoe ride. Well, when the party reached the junction of the Snake and the Mad Rivers, the channel widened and the water took on a pea-green hue. The current became strong, moving the canoes along at a pretty fast rate. And the first major rapid was encountered October 21st near Idaho Falls, present-day Idaho Falls.
Really?
Yeah. So these handmade canoes were rigged with ropes, and then with all the men ashore, the craft were eased down the rapids, and actually they lost several capsized. They spilled their cargo into the river, and anyway, below the rapids, the river ran pretty smooth again. So the men got back into the canoes, geese and ducks, beaver, all these things around them. 2 days of traveling on the nice water brought the hunt expedition to the mouth of the Portneuf River. Mm-hmm. Okay, now October 28th. We're getting into the fall. Keep that in mind.
It's cold.
It's starting to get cold.
Yeah.
And river travel came to an end because the temperatures dropped below freezing and ice on the river. And, of course, this is back over there. You can see the Teton Mountains.
Not fun to swim in buckskins in 40-degree water.
No. So they keep going, and they reach another set of rapids.
Oh.
All right. Well, when the danger became apparent, there was no time to get the canoes ashore. The first canoe survived the rapid. It made it through. But the second vessel, manned by a guy named Ramsey Crooks, hit a great big boulder, flipped over. Crooks and 3 of his men clung to a rock until they were rescued. The 5th occupant of the canoe, Antonine Clapine, disappeared into the water and was never found.
Now, these guys, I would imagine, had never really been from back east, weren't they?
Yeah.
They'd never really learned to navigate a canoe in rough water, had they?
Well, right. And you've seen the Cauldron Lynn when there's been high water.
Amen.
And we've lost people even in recent years.
Absolutely.
Over there.
Yep.
But, the river narrows into this white, frothing water, and the travelers considered themselves finished with the Snake River, but the river wasn't through with them. The defeated trappers hauled their supplies up the icy banks of the Snake, and with no horses to carry their stuff, they had to cache everything. Now, most of the goods were trade items like knives, mirrors, cloth, stuff like that, paint, and the river had actually swallowed up most of their food, leaving them with only 5 days' worth of food. Now, realizing that the situation was desperate, Hunt divided the party into 4 groups. Mm-hmm. So he sent Ramsey Crooks with 5 men back to Henry's Fort to get the horses.
I see.
And then to rejoin the party. Well, another guy by the name of McClellan was sent to scout downriver with some companions. And a guy named Mackenzie and 4 men went north towards the mountains, up towards Lewiston, that direction.
I see.
Pretty much north.
Right.
Now, Hunt still had about 30 people, and they began digging the caches, and they dug 9 large pits, were dug and then lined with sticks and grass, and 9 canoes loaded with supplies were lowered into the pits.
My goodness.
Now, you know where I'm talking about, right over here by the Cauldron Lynn.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that somebody hasn't found them, and they must have dug them pretty deep.
They've never been found?
No. Now, they have found things in the river from the capsized canoes.
By the way, let's back up just for a second, and then I'll do a commercial, but answer this question. How reliable, through a diary or whatever, is the information that you have?
I think it's pretty good. I really do, because I don't know why. I just think it's pretty reliable because of the number of people that were involved in this.
So it's down in the canyon, just literally less than a mile from where we're sitting right now.
Right.
There's supposedly a cache of canoes and
9
goods.
canoes. Now,
you just don't bury 9 canoes that
and
easily.
my other thought is maybe they went up on top of the canyon rim. Maybe they buried it up farther from the river than what I would think.
I don't know. Okay.
Don't know.
All right. Is there any device that can help us find it so we can have the treasure?
I would love to find.
Okay.
Oh, what a cache that would be.
Oh, my. Let me just quickly tell everybody, you're listening to Dr. History, brought to you by some really dear friends of ours. Zach and the crew at Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, right across from the airport. Don't forget, they've got all your Tartar Farm and Ranch gates and panels. That is the best, the creme de la creme. And also all your lumber packages, everything for remodeling, and all the people that can help you too. Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, 878-2091. And now back to, we're going to find the canoes.
You know, it says that the sandy soil was there. So I don't know if it's down below by the river or up on top, but they
I would assume saying that it had to be down by the river.
That's what I'm thinking. But they smoothed it over.
Let's go find them.
They put grass and sagebrush over it, and it took several days. So they must have dug them pretty deep.
They wouldn't want to dig them that deep, though. I mean, my goodness, would they?
Well, they're supposedly going to come back and get them.
Did they?
No. Well, anyway, before the caches were finished, this Ramsey Crook and his men, who had been sent to Henry's Ford, came back. They had been forced to come back without getting the horses. The McClellan group, they were afraid that Hunt's desperate situation might tempt him to again take to the river, and so he sent 2 messengers upstream to report that it was impassable. And of course, we know below Cauldron Lynn is the Shoshone Falls and the Twin Falls.
Now, is this the same party? I think it is, that lost a whole bunch of people and canoes that went down into the water hole at Cauldron Lynn, right?
Well, they only lost the one guy at that point.
At that point.
Yeah, that Antoine. Okay. So, but anyway, the trappers couldn't stay in the river camp without provisions. They only had a little bit of corn, dried meat, grease, bouillon tubes, tablets, but...
Sounds like real good diet.
Good diet, but when you're hungry... Well, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, he divided the group. Again, 19 men, led by Ramsey, crossed the south bank of the Snake. 19 others, including the Sioux women and her 2 children, stayed on the north bank with Hunt. Now, 2 days later, Hunt found a trail and fresh horse tracks, which he followed to a Shoshone Indian camp. And the Indians didn't have much. They didn't have much to spare, but the trappers were able to trade for a few bits of food and some horses, and one for the woman and her children to ride on. Now, the party left the riverbank and stuck out across the desert, and the trek through this bleak land covered with rock, sagebrush, took nearly 3 weeks, not much water, and on a frosty morning, now we're in November 21st, they saw the Boise River in the distance, and of course, trees and willows and stuff, but they followed the stream through the flat, which is pretty easy, and the Boise joined the Snake River. Now, the Snake River flowed smooth for a ways again, and before dropping into the canyon.
Yeah.
Now, traveling the canyon just appeared pretty much impossible. They could tell that. So the explorers continued north. Soon they were in snow. Again, I tell you, we're getting
this is cold.
Close to December. Yeah. But scouts reported they could see great pine-clad mountains covered with snow ahead. It was the roughest country these guys had ever seen.
What was the incentive for them to keep going and not turn back? They weren't getting paid that much, were they?
Well, again, the idea that, okay, we're going to get to the Columbia, and then it'll be smooth sailing down to the mouth.
To the ocean, yeah.
So the trappers headed back toward the Snake River. The snow got deeper. All the horses except one, ridden by the woman, were killed for food. They melted snow for drinking water. Well, finally, Hunt's party made it back to the edge of the river. They traveled...
and this is where?
Up towards the Boise area.
Up towards Boise, okay.
They traveled along these banks for about 6 miles, making camp. Well, the next morning, December 6th now, they heard shouting from the opposite riverbank, and it was Ramsey Crooks and his group who were on the south side of the river.
Okay.
So they were shouting across the river. So Hunt ordered a bull boat to be built from the willows and with the fresh horse hides, and some meat was sent to the men on the far bank because they were starving too.
Oh my goodness!
Now one of Crook's men was absolutely crazy with food, the sight of food, and he tried to swim across out to the vessel that was coming across, the bull boat, and he drowned. He was so hungry.
He drowned.
Just jumped in and because he wanted food. So,
oh my goodness!
Anyway, so John Crooks and his men crossed the Snake and returned to Hunt's camp in the bull boat. And again, they were near starvation. These guys were in bad shape.
Now, whereabouts was this? You said it was up near Boise, but was it around like Glenn's Ferry or something?
You know, at this point, I'm really not exactly sure, but I think it's a little farther north.
Farther north,
I think.
Okay.
But anyway, during the guys on the south side, during their month, they had survived on one beaver, the carcass of a dog,
one beaver,
a few dried show carries, and the soles of worn-out moccasins. Now I've never had.
The guy didn't have athlete's foot.
I've never had moccasin soup, but you got to be hungry.
I don't think. Well, now I'm not hungry at all.
Now you're not. Well, anyway, Crooks told Hunt that there was impassable cliffs downriver. You know, the Hell's Canyon we're talking about.
There again, I got to stop you because with the multiplicity of all the animals that are still here in the desert and everything, the antelope and the deer and everything else. You mean they were that poor of shots they couldn't bring down some game?
You know, that's my thinking because, you know, we've been hunting when it's been cold and snow, and we usually scare up a deer or an elk or something, you know.
And I always carry a Snickers in my pocket.
So do I. Salted nut roll for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had no choice but to leave the river. So some of Hunt's men wanted to forge ahead, and when Hunt refused, these guys just set out alone.
Really?
They just separated, which is not a good thing to do.
Nuh-uh.
But the reunited trappers persuaded some reluctant Indians to guide them to the Columbia River. Now, the Sioux woman's baby was born December 30th, but unfortunately died 9 days later. But you can imagine the cold and the, you know, she couldn't have been eating.
And probably they kept on moving, too.
Yeah, moving each day. So
wow.
Now, although the explorers needed food, they spared the last horse for the woman and her children to ride. So she was still, you know, they tried to take care of her.
Wow.
But anyway, so now we're February 15th, 1812. The Hunt party arrived at the newly constructed Fort Astoria. Now, some stragglers did not reach the post until several months later. These guys that took off ahead of them. Now, McClellan, he was the guy that headed north towards Lewiston, his group.
Now, they knew where to go, though.
They kind of knew.
They had a map or something?
Well, they kind of knew where the Columbia, I think because of Lewis and Clark, they kind of knew where that was. And where
you're going into land uncharted.
Yeah, I mean, this is the wilderness area.
Oh,
really.
My.
So, but McClellan was at Astoria to greet Hunt, having arrived a couple of months earlier.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
he had actually probably taken the easiest and the best route.
Did they stop at a Denny's or something?
They must have.
Oh.
But anyway, they'd come in on January 12th, about a month earlier or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, after leaving Hunt at the Cauldron Lynn, Mackenzie's party of 5, like I say, they cut north, then northwest, and again, struggling through some of the most rugged country. And when they ran out of rations, they lived for a time on strips of boiled beaver pelts. They nearly died of thirst while traveling on the east rim of Hell's Canyon. And now, picture this. You're thirsty, and here's this canyon way down below. You can see water in this river, but you can't get to it.
This is amazing to me because, number one, to set off on a trek like this, you'd think they would have been more aware of their supply needs.
You would think. And actually, they did find a mountain sheep they were able to shoot.
Oh, that poor sheep.
I don't suppose there was much left of that guy. When
No.
So, but anyway, Mackenzie reached the Clearwater River. He obtained canoes from the Nez Perce Indians, and they followed the river to the Columbia, then floated on to Fort Astoria. Now, the Hunt party's attempt to navigate the Snake River was the first on record, as was their crossing of southern Idaho. That's the first explorers that we think came across right through here.
Really?
So, and in fact, in 1938, rusty traps and guns were found in the Snake River near Cauldron Lynn.
Right down here by me.
Yes. And they were the type used by early trappers and are believed to be from that canoe that tipped over where the Antoine guy drowned.
Holy
and these
cow.
items are actually on display at the Idaho State Historical Museum in Boise.
I'll be darned.
Now, I haven't been there, but after reading the story, I'm going to stop in there one of these days and just see what they got.
It's too bad that of all the places down there in the canyon that you would think they would bury some canoes, I think I know probably the most logical, but then we don't know way back then how the river had altered some of its course.
Yeah, I mean, that's 200 years ago.
Yeah.
So let me just show you this map.
My.
That kind of shows the routes that the different parts of the party took.
I am somewhat surprised that those that stayed on the river could not have existed on a better diet. Fishing, do you ever think of that?
Yeah, a little surprising. And, I mean, the Indians knew how to make fish hooks out of bone.
Yeah.
And with their connection with Indians, you'd think even if they didn't have hooks, they could figure out something.
Boy, I tell you what, they were totally, in my opinion, unprepared.
I think they were, but this John Jacob Astor was an amazing
Well, how many,
story.
quickly, we're almost out of time, but how many guys from the original troop that set off ended up at a final destination?
I don't have a number, but I know they lost at least 2.
Really?
And maybe as many as 8.
And what happened to the Indian lady?
I guess, it doesn't say, but I assume she made it to Astoria.
Okay.
And that was the end of that. But the story about the ship that came around, I'll have to tell that one of these days, too.
Yeah, but, amazingly, you and I can turn our heads and look out that window and see exactly what they saw back then, with a couple of alterations, naturally.
Like Twin Falls and Burley and Jerome.
Right. Interesting story, but still it amazes me that they couldn't have had or found better food.
And I would have thought they would have used more information from the Indians.
Yeah.
Been a little more helpful.
Absolutely.
So, because the Indians knew that territory.
Yeah. Dr. History, you did it again. Brought to you by Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley. Right across from the airport, Zach and the rest of the crew serving you at Minnecasia Sales. I say this every week and it becomes redundant, but I'm sure you have a topic for next week.
You betcha.
I
can't wait to see what it is.
Did you do your research on the tribal names?
I haven't had time.
I'm not going to let that go.
I know. I'll work on it someday.
Okay. All is well in your home, I hope?
Yes, very good.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to another segment next week, and brought to you by Minnecasia Sales, Dr. History. God bless you, man. Good story.
Thank you.
All
have
right.
a good day, Zeb.
Now let's go down in the canyon at lunch and find those canoes.
Man, wouldn't that be exciting?
What would they be worth today?
Something like that, I just can't imagine. But that'd be guns, traps, knives, who knows what else that would survive.
And in the dirt like that, I know the canoes probably have gone away, but there'd be still something there.
Well, a sandy soil, and maybe it's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got a shovel?
I do.
Okay, let's go. Let's send it back over to our main studios. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I can't talk right now. I'm leaving. I'm going to get my shovel and go find those canoes. That's an interesting story about the Hunt Project and party going right here by my place. And Deanne, we got to go find all those canoes and those guns and everything. My goodness. Welcome back, and we're in our last half hour, and we're going to have another guest with us in just a moment. First of all, I want to remind you about Cassia County School Days every Thursday at 10:12, exactly at 10:12. Our thanks go to A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all kinds of books and games and all kinds of new fall clothing coming in at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Along with Ambulatory Surgery Center. Get life-saving colonoscopies at Ambulatory Surgery Center on Highland, 1344 Highland Avenue, right across from the hospital, and save money. Absolutely. Call today, 677-8888. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County on Thursdays. Let's see. We've got a guest with us, and we're going to have him on the air right now. As soon as I get these merchants in here, we want to acknowledge Magic Valley Irrigation Supply, 44 East, 500 South of Burley. All of these folks say, come on to the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. You better believe it. Magic Valley Irrigation Supply with Jeff and the crew, and they say thanks to all the farmers for the wonderful job they do. Magic Valley Irrigation Supply been offering irrigation systems and service and repair since 1978. And AMI 1719 Overland in Burley, look for the big 28-foot wrench over the door, go nuts over their bolts. I love that slogan. And they say good luck to all the participants of the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. And last but not least, Burley Glass, 1029 Overland in Burley with Gentle Ben and the crew. Garage door openers, windows, everything, accessories. Better get it done before the snow flies. Call Burley Glass today, 678-1459, 1029 Overland in Burley. Whew! Now, without further ado, here is Ryan Samples with the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Morning, Dad. We're doing good.
Okay, what's been the highlight of the fair so far for you? The food, or what's going on over there?
Oh, for me, it was the concert. It was over and done with, and that was my responsibility.
How did it go?
It was good. We had good attendance. It was a good show. Dan and Shay were good to deal with. It was a good time.
All right. Now, today, basically, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the judging is starting today. So, as a Fair Board member, what are your duties today and for the rest of the fair?
My duties are easy. I just have to water the arena and get ready for the sorting and get ready for the rodeos. I don't do the 4-H stuff. That's not on my list to do. So,
all right,
I'm pretty lucky.
You're smart, I tell you that. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen tonight at 7 p.m. in the arena. Explain to the audience, in case they don't know, Ryan, what exactly is a ranch team sorting?
Oh, there's you have 2 pens. You have 10 cows in one pen, three-member team, and they try to sort them out. You draw a number and sort them out from, if they start at 1, you go from 1 to 10 and try to hold them all in the other pen in less than a minute.
Okay. And are you expecting quite a bit of teams?
I'm not sure what the team count is right away. I think there's quite a few coming. I know we have 60 head of cattle coming, so we've got quite a few teams. All
right. Now, that's tonight at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow on Wednesday, let's give a little rundown as to what's going to happen tomorrow for the activities that you want to highlight. Go ahead.
Well, we got the P-Raid that's going through, comes down Overland to Main Street and back to the fairgrounds. That starts at 10:30. And tomorrow night we've got another section of the ATV rodeo, the finals, and the kids and the ladies will be going tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Now give us a little bit of a, Ryan, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but tell the audience exactly what kind of a course, what kind of a contest, I mean, how are they judged, what happens?
We've set up in the arena, we've set up like pole, anybody that's familiar with rodeo and understands pole bending. And we've got some poles with a barrel in the middle. They have to go through the poles on their motorcycle or ATV and then go around the barrel. And it's a head-to-head race to see who's the fastest. And if you knock down a pole, it's 5 seconds, and they time it. Last night we had the 250, 400, 450 motorcycles and the ATVs, and it was a pretty good time.
Oh, my goodness. I bet that is good watching. Okay, so the finals of that will be tomorrow night on Wednesday. And then Thursday, give us some of the highlights about Thursday.
Thursday, we've got, and I guess I forgot from Wednesday, there will be livestock shows in the 4-H. So we've got Thursday, there's 4-H shows. And then Thursday night's the first night of the PRC Rodeo Kids Night, Man Up with the Man Up Crusade. So anybody that shows up, please wear purple.
Okay. Now, the rodeo itself is going to be absolutely first class like it always is. And who's the stock contractor for this year?
Now we've got Barty back again.
Okay. And excellent national finals bucking horses and bulls, right?
Yep. Excellent amount of stock. a good field of contestants for Thursday night. So,
all right.
I don't know any of the names right offhand yet, but they did tell us that it was it will be a good performance on Thursday night.
All right. Now, taking us through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 3 big nights of the rodeo, but there's also a lot of really big activities going on through the day. On Thursday, of course, you've also got a live stage over at the fairgrounds. Tell us what's happening over there.
There's a live stage with some free entertainment and the hypnotist. Not sure the hours of the hypnotist. You have to just check it. I know the full schedule's on the CashCountyFair.com. I'm not sure what his times are.
Is it true that last year, I heard a rumor that the hypnotist last year had hypnotized you, and every month when there's a full moon, you start baying at that thing. Is that right?
Yeah, that was before that anyway. It didn't matter.
All right. So that's live entertainment. A lot of good people, singers, and everything else on that live stage, right?
Yeah, there's supposed to be some singers, and so then the hypnotist comes on every day at certain, like I said, scheduled time.
Okay. Once again, the rodeo is going to be at 8 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. But Saturday is a huge day, Ryan. And bring us up to speed as what's going to happen on Saturday morning real early.
Saturday morning starts off with the fat stock sale buyer's breakfast. Starts at 7 a.m. and the show ring, and then the sale starts promptly at 8 o'clock. So I need to be here, enjoy some good breakfast, and then go in and buy some animals, support the local kids and the 4-H and the FFA.
One thing I failed to ask you about, Ryan, and it's my fault, on Friday at 1 p.m., what about the pari-mutuel horse races? Is that going to go on this year again on Friday and Saturday?
Well, they're open right now, taking the entries. I haven't heard to see what we've got, but hopefully we have races on Friday and Saturday. Saturday will be a different post time. I think our post time on Saturday is at 12 noon. So. Okay, all right. And I know the kids and I know the parents. What about the carnival? Tell us a little bit about that. Carnival starts Wednesday after the parade, and then proceeds every day. I think starts at 5 on Thursday, and then Friday it's all day. I think Thursday is your buddy day, so you can do that. Right now you can buy some all-day passes. We have all-day passes on sale now until the carnival opens, so you can get them at the fair office. Okay. And one thing, too, I wanted to mention, on Friday night, I believe you're going to have the crowning of the princess, and on Saturday night, the new queen. Is that correct? Yeah. Queen will be on Saturday night with all that. Okay. Anything else you want to mention in regards to the fair and the rodeo for this year? You have the floor. Oh, this Friday night is our pink night, tough enough to wear pink, and Saturday night's going to be Patriot. Honor some veterans and do that. So. Okay. And what about admission charges? Hello? Is he there? I lost Ryan. Love cell phones. Not much, but we lost him, and I hope we can... Wheels, try to reestablish that call real quick, would you? Yeah. And we'll try to catch him and get him back on the air. Evidently, his cell phone went to that great dead cell phone in the sky, and we'll have him wrap up a few things about the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. That happens on occasion, and while we're waiting, I think, to get him back on the air, if we can catch him, I'll have Wheels do the weather. And what we're going to do for the weather this hour is we're going to highlight our friends at Scarro's Meats. And they're, of course, at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time, with their great hometown meat cutting, and they guarantee everything they sell. They've got that hot summer barbecue special, $199 for 50 pounds of meat, ribeye steaks, New York strips, ground beef, brats, pork chops. Oh, it's delicious. Here quickly is Gina with the weather.
We are in a red flag warning due to the tender dry conditions and the wind for today. Also, air quality has been reduced because of all of the smoke in the area. So if you have asthma, some sort of upper respiratory issue, you might want to take note of that, okay? So just be careful out there today. Otherwise, sunny skies, slightly breezy, winds out of the southwest, right around 11 miles an hour. Expect a high of 82, tonight low of 51. Tomorrow, pretty much the same as today. Sunny, breezy, high of 84 with an overnight low of 51 as we move closer towards the weekend. Thursday, sunny skies and 88, and by Friday, winds picking up out of the west right around 20 miles an hour, sunny and 82. That's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch.
Well done, Gina. Thank you very much. Brought to you this hour by our friends at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Wheels, did we get him back on the air?
Yes, sir, we did.
Thank you very much. Ryan, your cell phone went to the great cell phone in the sky.
Yeah, it went somewhere, Nobody calls you until you get on the phone.
I know that. Hey, listen, I was asking you, what about admission to the fair? Everybody that's called in has asked, what are the admission prices?
Rodeo grandstand seats are $12. Bleacher seats are $8. Friday night we've got family night. I think you get 5 seats in the grandstands for $40. They have to be bought in sections of 5. Fair admission's free just to get in, walk around, and get some good food.
Okay. And by the way, too, I wanted to elaborate a little bit about the parade. Now, I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Ryan, it's going to start at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and give us the route of the parade, if you would, please.
It starts on Overland and 27th, goes all the way down through the middle of town to Main Street. To turn right at Main Street and ride back and come back to the fairgrounds.
Okay. And
line up along there anywhere they want to watch.
All right, sounds good to me. Always an exciting and really well done parade. And I got to tell you, too, and I know you can talk about this because you're an expert on food. Talk a little bit about the Cassia County food booths. You've got some of the best in the West right there.
We got the Declo booth that's always got the great maple bars. Everybody raves about them. And we've got a few more food booths around this year. We're trying to expand a little bit, give everybody a little different taste of what they want. So just come down and enjoy it all.
All right. Ryan, you've done a really good job. We've enjoyed having you on this program, and thank you for calling us back and getting back on the air with us. And we extend to you and everybody to enjoy the Cassia County Fair for 2015. Thanks so much for being on my program.
Yeah, thank you, Zeb.
All right, sir. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, be careful.
All right, thank you. Really good guy, Ryan Samples, on the board of the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Thank you very much. You know what? I've got time right now for some calls, and I'd love to visit with you, so give us a jingle on the landline at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587, and we'll talk about anything you want to talk about for the next couple of minutes. And whether it's Hillary Clinton and the email scandal, or whether it has anything to do with Trump and his immigration program, whatever, give us a jingle on the landline, and we'd like to hear what you have to say this morning. This is kind of an open forum, so you give us a call. By the way, I want to give this note out real quick while I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in. Our dear friend Russell Smith is at the Idaho State Veterans Home in Pocatello at 1957 Alvin Ricken Drive, I believe it is, or Ricken Drive, I believe it is. And as soon as we get more information on his room number and how to get a hold of him, we are going to ask you to send cards and letters to our dear friend Russell Smith. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Thanks for your call.
Too bad, Zeb. The only thing I want to add to this Hillary thing is people always kind of forget, and I think what she's really, and one big thing that she's really after is the keys to Air Force One.
I have always thought about Hillary, and I want to get your opinion on this. She's a lady that absolutely, I think, is possessed with power and the taking on of more power and being the head cheese, if you will. I've read a lot of books. I've read a lot of stories. I've read a lot of different themes about her. It's always been power, and when she teamed up with Bill, that was her source to get right to where she wants now, the White House.
Yeah. Yeah, she wants to be in that White House. Who knows what they stole out of that White House when they left? There's big rumors that they took a lot of stuff out of that thing while they was there. Of course, like I say, her and Tripper, they always like to go on them trips. Nobody can take one jet. They always got to go separately, including their dogs and everything else. That's what the existing president we have now is doing.
Let me ask you.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. They don't care about tank of gas. They don't have to worry about where their next tank of gas comes from.
That's
they
right.
Burn it up.
Let me ask you this question real quick. Of the friends that you know and the friends that you associate with, are there people in that circle of friends that absolutely would like to see her be president?
No, I haven't seen anybody. I've not yet talked to one person that voted for the president that's even in there now.
They're hard to find. They're like hen's teeth. And especially now after a terrible 7 years, those that did vote for him are not admitting it because they're fearing public retribution against them.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about is like Waters when he goes out and gets these comments from these younger people. They're so stupid they don't even know who the first president was or anything. They just vote because they think it's the end thing.
Absolutely, I saw what you're talking about, and it's scary. It's absolutely scary to think that group of people, the millennials of that age, are going to take over and run this country in the not too distant future. It just makes me sweat. That's how nervous I am.
Yeah.
God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Nice man right there. Appreciate his thoughts. Hillary scares me. The power scares me. And you know, there's another aspect to this, too. It's been talked about by many, many other talk show hosts, too. Bill's going to be right there in control like he wants to be also. I mean, this is a power lust for both of them. Think of what they can do, what they can control, what they can gain, what they can further, what they can promote, because it'll be a husband and wife, somewhat, in the White House. She will have the title of president, and I don't know what kind of a title he's going to have, but you know it's all about control and power. Think of what they can do to America. Think of what they can do to the world situation. Wow. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's have a commercial, and then you can call me and let me know your opinion. Don't forget the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. My goodness sakes, today they're moving in all the livestock and all the 4-H and FFA material and everything. My goodness, tomorrow they're going to start all the judging. They've even got a cat show over there tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'm not exaggerating. A cat. How do you show a cat? Cat's not going to stand up and do tricks, roll over, sit down. How do you show a cat? Somebody call me. And it says tentative, depending on participation. I like that. And then, of course, the big rodeo at the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And on Saturday also at 12 noon, they've got the great big Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. That's going to be phenomenal. So a lot of things going on at your 2015 Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. Don't you miss it. All right. I'm going to show my naivete. How do you show a cat? Maybe this caller knows. Caller, how do you show a cat?
You show the cat the door. Never let it back.
I like that answer. I love that answer.
Fred Flintstone. You put the cat out, and then you're out with the cat in the cat house.
Well, whoa, be careful there. But anyhow, I saw that on that list of things going on over there, and I thought, now, how in the world do you show a cat? They don't come here when you call them. They don't go sick anything. They don't sit up. They don't roll over. What good is having a cat?
I don't know. You have a cat, and you've had it for years. And we had this cat, and he was in the house periodically. And one day he decided to mark territory in my bedroom. And
Oh, really? What do you mean by that, Randall?
Well,
never mind. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And it was, that smell is just terrible. And I said, man, I do not know. But we ended up taking the cat out south of town, quite a way. I know that sounds terrible. And trying to leave it on a farm, and I guess Pete will be calling me any minute.
But really, I've got to get a fair book over there at Gooding, and I got to find out how in the world you show a cat. How do you judge a cat? Do you judge them on conformation? Do you judge them by what they don't do? They just lay around and purr all day long? What do you do?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about cats.
Oh.
I don't even have a cat. I have a stray black cat, all black, who lives I have a big yard, 5 acres, and so he lives in my yard.
I see.
And I see him periodically, and he obviously, we don't feed him, but he's still there, I know, because I see him here and there. And so he's the kind of cat I like.
Okay.
Hey, one quick note. Over the break at 10 o'clock, the news, if you listen to the news at the top of the hour, every hour, and how it's skewed and how it is meant to make us believe that we need more government, that there's global warming, that the temperatures are high, and that's the reason we have fires. And then this most important nugget of information, this is the most important one of the day, that the administration has hired its first transgender. That was the thing that made me. I just did a cartwheel out on the lawn, and I was just leaping for joy.
Oh, I'll tell you what, just did the dance of the sugar plum fairies. I'll tell you, it's absolutely just worthless to hear that kind of thing. Why? Why is our society looking at abnormal behavior and trying to teach it as normal, and it's absolutely so sinful and so degrading, I just don't understand.
Well, this is the thing. She says it represents America. Okay, let's get back to this. Gay and lesbians are 2% of the population, of the entire population. 2%. And LGBT, whatever, okay. If you just leave the gays and lesbians out of that, transgenders and whatever the hell they are, they're even way, way less. Now, does this represent America? Not on your life.
What happened to the 90, I'm going to even say it's less than 2%, but whatever happened to the 99% that want to follow a decent, God-fearing lifestyle and adhere to the Bible's teachings of what is right and wrong and what is moral? I'm telling you, we're just being oversieged with this stuff, and it's going to get a lot worse. Randy, you brought up an excellent point. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow in the first hour. You better call. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, take care. Oh, my goodness sakes. I mean, sexual perversion leads the story on the CBS News. Are you kidding me? And they're trying to coerce us, talk show hosts, to be more acceptable. This one will not. Don't forget all your 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, they are good. Yes, they are. The best in tires, you know that. They've got all the tires for all your driving needs. Yep, you know that. They've got the best in brake service. You know that with professionally trained technicians and premium quality parts. There. And front end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries. The best in service. You drive in, they're going to take care of you and your safe driving. You stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Yep, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. What have we got scheduled for tomorrow? Now, this is a little tentative. We're expecting, and we know the first hour, we're going to have the open forum. And then at 9:06, Dave Vigo from Indianapolis, Indiana. Then it gets a little murky here because I'm not sure. I think that United States Senator Mike Crapo will be either here in my studio or on the phone, and Deanne just shook her head and said, no, the email just came in, and he will not be on the air tomorrow morning. Oh, thank you, Deanne. I'm sorry about that. So I guess he won't be on the air tomorrow morning. Oh, that's wonderful to have an open half hour. And then at 10:06, I know that the Idaho fishing game will be here tomorrow morning. So I've got to get to work and fill that other half hour. Until tomorrow morning at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch, God bless you and your family. The way things are, or were, are the way they ought to be. God bless. We'll see you then. Have a good day.